you can go and visit them. They're blowing out the 2024s at the new King of Trucks in Southeast Saskatchewan. Worth the drive every time. I know it's the SJHL report, but let's start with your boys, Foam Lake. Double banner season. It's special for that community.
It is. Yeah, it's been a long couple of weeks for the old Foam Lake Flyers. 1 o'clock in the morning, I seen they tweeted that they're on the Zamboni, just like the Belcaires Bronx did a few years ago. So it's a long night. It was a long, maybe a long week or so here for the Foam Lake Flyers. But yeah, they had a battle against Drake. Drake got it up 6-5, and then another late goal from Foam Lake, and then a big overtime winner by expat Isaac Shocker. So big win for the Flyers.
Yeah, I know. It was cool. We were talking about it earlier in the show. It's like this whole Zamboni driving thing. It's tradition now. It's cool, but someone's going to just send in a video, and then it's going to get canceled culture. Sask Hockey's going to have to come out with some sort of release. Kelly McClintock will be on the show talking about it. Unfortunate. So, yeah, don't send your pictures in, please. Let the boys be country, as Jason Haldine said. Okay, we're into the semis. We got 2 teams left. I had Rory on from McGorran from Humboldt yesterday. We talked about that. He said, we're up against a good squad. They couldn't pull it out the Elgar last night. Flon takes it 5-0, and then Weyburn dumps the Battlefords. So we got Melfort, Yorkton, Flon, Weyburn. Let's start first off Flon, Weyburn. We talked to Cody Mapes in hour 1. What's your take on that series, Benny?
A lot of traveling for sure. I think over 800 kilometers between those two buildings. But this is the first time Weyburn's been in the second round since 2015. So it's a year. I know Cody's been there for about 4 or 5 years now. He's trying to develop this roster, and they were close to getting to round 2 last year. Came up short, but this is kind of the team he's kind of built together. They're getting goaltending right now from Angelo Zoll, who's outstanding in game number 6. It's gonna be a battle of goaltenders, I think, with him and Matthew Keeper, the SJHL MVP from the regular season, and the top goaltender as well. So the former Pat. But I think it's going to be a battle to see who can score on the power play. Again, special teams have been important. I think Weyburn's got a little bit more firepower, but I think that Flin has a lot more depth. So it's going to be, if Weyburn can sneak one up there at the Whitney Forum in game 1 or 2, I think they definitely have a very good chance of winning the series. But I think this could be one of those homer series that might go the distance.
Friday, the other one starts as well. I'm sure you'll be calling that one.
Yeah.
Yorkton in Melfort. What do the Terriers have to do to try and win this series against the number 1 ranked Mustangs?
First, they have to get good goaltending like they did in the last 3 or 4 games from Callum Craig in that series against Melville. If it wasn't for Callum Craig, we'd probably be talking about a game 7 tonight in Yorkton. He was just that outstanding last 3 games. So then you have to stay disciplined. Melford's power play, actually both power plays have been good this season, the top 2 power plays from the regular season. But this is a team, they have to stay disciplined. There's a young Terrier defense that's going up against a very experienced forward unit for the Melfort Mustangs. So it's one of those things Terriers have to, I think it's one of those games. If Terriers can maybe put this into a little bit of a track. I know you don't see it much in the playoffs, but if it's a high-scoring series, I think the Terriers might have a chance. But if it gets to that grinding, low-scoring series, I think Melfort just can get that early lead and kind of grind their way out. But if the Terriers can find some offense from those top guys who've been outstandanding, I think they have a chance in the series. But they have to, like you said with Weyburn, they have to sneak one there in Melfort to win a series, maybe even 2 to have a chance in that matchup. But it's an intriguing matchup. We talked about it. Last year was a big trade. Clay Sleeva, the Terrier captain, went to Melfort, helped them win a league title. And now 3 members of that trade that went back to Yorkton who can be competing in the series. David Coyle, who was one of the leading scorers in the SJHL playoff race. You got Thomas Reese, who's the Rookie of the Year finalist. Then Cale Johnson, AP, and a highly regarded prospect for the Terriers who might AP as well. So it's a very intriguing series and a lot of storylines going in.
I'm not as in depth on SJHL information as I was in the past, but I know when I played in it a couple of years ago, we'll say, we used to just have the north-south. So when I see the Final Four, it's interesting matchups, right? Because when back in the day, it would have been Melfort, Flin, and then Yorkton and Weyburn playing as often north-south. So
LeBret would have been in the mix.
Yeah, LeBret probably. Yeah. It was an upset if they weren't, right? That dates me right there. So when I went through the league, but I don't know if there's a great question here. I find it interesting because is there that following or excitement being built with the teams being so far apart. Now, on the flip side, there could be an opportunity for a league final to be Melfort, Flin, Flon, or Yorkton versus Weyburn, which would be hysteria. So an interesting Final Four. Benny, what do you just get for your overall feeling of how these series are going to be followed and the intensity around them?
Yeah, I think the Yorkton Melfort series, I think they're going to be traveling both ways. I know it's maybe just under a 3-hour drive and the weather should be pretty nice. So I think there's going to be a good contingent. I think Terriers are going to have a fan bus headed there for both nights, Friday, Saturday. And even during the week, Melfort's got a good traveling of fans. They have a lot of local guys from the Wadena, the Regina, the middle of Saskatchewan area. So I think there'll be lots of support from the Mustangs. The other side, Flin Flon fans, they do travel well. I know it's going to be a midweek games in Weyburn, but I think they might bring a fan bus or even a couple of vans down from Flin Flon, and they travel on. So do the Weyburn Red Wings. So it's an interesting time, but I think it is going to be, I don't know the distances between Weyburn and Flin Flon in particular is long, but I think there's still going to be some good contingent because Flin Flon fans, they played Estevan 2 or 3 years in the playoffs, in the semifinals, in the final, and that they have a lot of Flin Flon fans make the trip down, and Estevan's even further down south than Weyburn. So I think it's still going to be a good support from each communities.
You never forget a trip to Flin Flon, I'll tell you that.
No. Never mind the truck. Colson, Curtis, you guys are going in these vans. Back to Flin Flon. I'll get him to pick you up right here at 12th and Rose, and there you go. And Benny, hey, you'd be stupid not to tell those Yorkton Terrier fans take your trunks and a towel if you're going to the Northern Lights Palace. Get in a pregame soak in the hot tub, maybe a water slide. Stupid not to.
Exactly. I always look there. They have a great canteen there in Melfort as well. So I always go there, get a hot chocolate or something before the game, and see everybody ripping around the pool. So it's a great place up there.
I was texting back and forth with Trevor Blevins because his brother is the outgoing president of the Prairie Junior Hockey League. We're gonna have on the show here, and he was just talking about he's the uglier one, and I said, well, who's the tougher one? He goes, well, me now, but he was 7 years older. Blevs is a beauty. Cool. Well, I will be obviously following this really closely. So your predictions, I think I know where your predictions would land in this, but who's playing in the final? You got to give us a Southie Mainline Chrysler prediction.
Yeah, I think my heart says Yorkton, of course, because I'm still following along with them. It'd be nice to have them in the final and just have that community once again pumping. It's a great crowd to support for between Melville and Yorkton. They're outstanding. 50-50 is almost $11,000 each game to the winner. So it'd be nice to have a final. I was going to go Terriers in 7 with the Heart. It's going to be a tough task for the Terriers, but if there's a team that beat them, this Yorkton Terrier team has battled adversity all season, I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Weyburn upsetting the Flin Flon Bombers. So I think goaltending is going to come down. I think Angelo's goal is going to steal the way to the series. I know it's going to be tough up there at the Whitney Forum. But before we go, Barney, we better wish the commissioner a happy birthday today. Yeah, no fool is Kyle McIntyre. So I don't know how much he's turning, but maybe 65, 70. But a happy birthday to the SJHL commissioner today. Oh,
he's definitely not that old. So I don't want him. I don't want him strangling me next time from behind. Next time, he played in like the tough Swift Current.
Oh boy,
with some of those guys. He's got some stories.
Yorkton, yeah.
Oh yeah, those are that was man's hockey back then, right? Yeah, no. Happy birthday to the commish, Kyle McIntyre. Okay, well, you have a nice. Little bit of a week, a little bit of a break here, Benny, before you start getting on the bus and calling those games. We might have to bring you in for impromptu SJ report at some point, too.
Sounds good, guys. Appreciate it. I'll see you, Ryan. Thanks, Barney.
Right on. Benny Walchuk.